Okay, Parak Beis. Ulenami Moida Leisha, and Nami was known, meaning that he was a relative to a person, Ish Gibor Chayil, to a strong man, which means that he was a very distinguished person. Mishpachas Elimelech, from the house of Elimelech, Ushmoi Boyas. So Nami, and his name was Boyas. So Nami was a relative of a very distinguished person, whose name was Boyas. Like we said before, that she came from a prominent family. And Rusa Mevia, the daughter-in-law, the Moabite daughter-in-law, tells Nami, her mother-in-law, that Elchana Sad, I'll go to the field, Balakta Vishibalim, and I will go and pick the ears of grain. Now, the Jewish law is that pieces of grain that fall in a field, you have to leave it for the poor people. And basically, the Rus is offering the mother-in-law, since they were very poor, so let us take advantage of this law. And she's offering that she will go to the field and try to collect some grain for them to eat. So she's saying, I would go to the field and collect some of these pieces of grain, after a person that I could find favor in his eyes. Now, really, every person has an obligation that if a piece of grain falls, you have to leave it for the poor people. But she's saying that she will go to a field to a person who she would find favor in his eyes, meaning to say that there may be some field owners that may be very tough and may make it very hard for the poor people. So she's hoping and trying to go to one of the fields that should be able to get some grain to feed her and the mother-in-law. Nami and Nami, the mother-in-law, tells Rus, go, my daughter, thank you. Vatelech, and she went, Vatove, and she came, Vatalakit, and she picked from the piece of grain that fell. Basad Achra Kaitzim, in the field after the harvesters. Yikra Mikra, and it happened a chance, a very interesting phenomenon. Chalkas Asada, which field did she go to? She ended up in the field, the part of the field of Voyas, which we just said was the very prominent relative of Naomi, Hashemi Mishpachas Elamech, which comes from the family of Elimelech. So it just happened to be that when Rus went to pick some grain, she ended up in the field of Voyas, which was actually Naomi's relative. Vine Boyas is coming from Beis Lachem. So Boyas is coming from Beis Lachem, which is the city, and they're picking in the field, which is a little bit outside of the city of Beis Lachem. So Boyas comes to his field, and Boyas announces, and he tells the harvesters, Hashem imachem, may God be with you, may God help you. And they answered, Yivarech Hashem, may God bless you. I guess that was the standard greeting. That's the way people used to greet. And Boyas told his lad, his assistant, Hanitzav Lakaitzim, which was in charge of the harvesters, that they should harvest properly. He sees Rus, this young Moabite woman. He says, "Who is this? I never saw this woman before. I never saw this girl before." Vayan Hanar Hanitzav Alakaitzim, and the lad, the servant, the assistant, answered, Hanitzav Alakaitzim, the one who was appointed on the harvesters. Vayomar, and he said like this: "This woman, Nara Me'avihi, she's the Moabite woman, the Moabite girl, Hashava im Nami, who returned with Nami, her mother-in-law, Bistei Mayav, from the plains of Mayav. Atoimer, and she asked of us, she requested from us, Alaktanova Safti Vamarim, let me pick and gather from these grain, Achra Kaitzim, after the harvesters, Vatovai, And she came, Vatamed, and she was standing in this field, Ma'aza Baker Vadata, from the whole morning till now. Zeshifti Vais Meot, and she rested a little bit in the house, but besides for resting in the house, she was working, she was collecting from morning till evening. Vayemer Boaz al Rus, and Boaz tells Rus, the Moabite woman, Haloi Shamat, I heard, Haloi Shamat, listen, Biti, my daughter. Al Techi Lilke Besadacher, do not pick in another field, only pick in my field. He's inviting Rus and saying, you should only pick in my field. I'm very happy for you to pick. My field is big. And do not go to another field. The Chaysid Bakun over here, you should cleave him now with my various workers, and stay over here. Einayich, your eyes, basada sheyikzayin shayu, with the field that we're cutting. Balach tachrein, you should go with other lads. Haloi tzivisi esan arim, I commanded my servants, the vilting nagach, not to touch you, not to bother you. They should treat you with respect. Vitzamisa, and you should drink whenever you're thirsty. Vitzamisa, when you come thirsty. Valachta lakelim, you should go to the utensils that the harvesters have, their drinking utensils. Vishasis, and you should drink. He's giving her permission to take from their utensils, Masha Yeshavun and Arim, from the utensils that the lads draw water with. So Boaz is inviting her and encouraging her to stay on his field and trying to make her as comfortable as possible. Vatipol al panaj, and after hearing this, she falls on her face. Vatishtachu arza, and she bows to the ground. Vatomer love, and she tells him, Madua matzase chen beinacha. Why did I find favor in your eyes? Lakireni, that you should literally get to know me, but it means to be so to give me such love and to act so kind to me. This is despite the fact that I'm a nachriya, I'm literally strange. It means that I'm not even Jewish. I'm a totally strange in this land. Vayan Boaz Vayemulan. Boaz answered and told her, Who godly? Come and tell me, Kol asher asis es chamoisech, everything that you did with your mother-in-law, Achrei Mois Ishech, after your husband died. Vatazvi avich imech, you left your father, your mother, Beretz Velatech, the place of your birth, everything that you had, Vatelche, and you went al am asher lo yadat, to a nation that you do not know, Tmol Shishim, the day before. Yeshalim Hashem Polech, Hashem should return to you for what you did. Sema Skortech Shlema, and your payment should be full. Me'im Hashem, from God, Alekei Yisrael, the God of Israel. Asher Bas Lachseis Tachas Knafim, that you came to be under its wings. So Boaz is telling Rus that you tell me everything that you did, that you left your own land. Why did you leave your own land? Not for any materialistic reasons, not because it's you have more food or anything like that. But the only reason why you came to the land of Israel is because you wanted to join the Jewish people. You wanted to come under the Shekhinah. You wanted to. But Tomer, and she said, I should find kindness in my master's eyes. For you comforted me, and you spoke for the heart of your maidservant, and you were very nice to me. And I am not like one of your maidservants. It means that I'm so unworthy that I'm not even fit to be your maidservant. So she's very humbled by how Boaz is acting to her. And Boaz tells her the time that the harvesters would sit down to eat. go bring closer, come closer, and eat from the bread that's for the harvesters. And dip your bread into vinegar to make the bread a little better. And she sat her besides the harvesters to make her feel more comfortable. A yitzbot, and Boaz gave her. He took la kali. He gave her kali. Kali is parched grain. When you parch the grain, when you roast it, the grain tastes better. It tastes sweet. It makes it taste like sugary. So Boaz is trying to give her the best food that he could. And she ate vatispa, and she was satisfied. And she even had enough to leave over. He gave her so much. And she got up again to pick again, to pick some grain. Boaz is not of Lema, and his servants. And he commanded his servants like this: Gam ben amarim talakit, also between the sheaves. That means not just that, don't just let her take from things that fell, because Jewish law is that if something fell, you have to leave it for the poor people, but let her also take from the sheaves. Let her take from everything. But do not embarrass her. Let her take from everything. V'gam shel tashelu, and he tells his servants, his workers, also you should purposely forget. Law for her, minat svasim, from the sheaves that are together. V'zaftem, and you should leave a velikta and let her collect v'lei sigaraba, and do not be tough with her, do not rebuke her. So he's telling his servants that they should purposely forget some pieces of grain in order that she should take more, and she should come out with more grain. Batalakit basada erev, and she picked in the field till the evening. Atachbit, and she beat together all the grain that she picked, the sasheliketa that she picked. Vayika ephah sodim, and she came out with about an ephah of barley, which is a very nice amount. So it comes out to a lot of barley. So Vatisa, and she carried Vatovilir, so she takes her, and she comes to the city. So she takes her barley, and she comes to the city. And the mother-in-law sees what she picked, a very big amount. She came back with a lot of food. And she also came and gave her this, that it was left over from after she was full. Remember that when she was eating with the workers, with the harvesters, Boaz gave her kali, which is parched grain, which tastes much better, and she was so full she couldn't eat everything. So not only she gave her the piece of barley, but she also gave her that. And her mother-in-law Nami asks, and she tells her, where did you pick today? Where do you do this? He makilech, the one who knew you, the one who took care of you and bestowed upon you such kindness, Baruch should be blessed. And she told her mother-in-law, what happened with her. And she said, Shema Ish, Asher Sisi the name of the man, the field owner who did this to me, his name is Boaz. Tamer Nami, and Nami said the Chalasa to her daughter-in-law, Baruch Hu Hashem, you should be blessed to God. Asher La'ozav Chasta Yisachayim, who does not forsake his kindness for the ones that are living, Vesamesim, and for the dead. Tamer Nami, and Nami said, Kariv Lanu, this Nayav is this Boaz is a relative. He's a family relative. Aish, this man, Migaelenu, who he is from our Redeemer. What does this mean? That there's a Jewish law that if a person, different people, every person has a shiur in the land of Israel, and if it happens that a person has to sell his field, he's under very hard times. The law is that that the person who is the closest relative has the right and should redeem that field. Like this, the field stays in the family. Fatayme Rusam Avia and Rustam Movite said, Gam ki Amarli. He also said to me, Iman Arima Shali Tidbakin, with the lads, with the workers that are with me, you should cleave, you should continue to pick with them. Adim Kilu until it finishes its Kola Katsa Shali, the whole harvest. That means he said that I should stay with him the whole harvest and pick. Nami and Nami answered Al Rusa Kalasa to her daughter-in-law. Toiv biti, good my daughter, Kisetsi, even Aresav, that you should go with my lads, with his workers, and you should stay in the field. V'laif guvach sad b'sad achar, and they shouldn't bother you in a different field. V'atidbek benaris, and so it happened that she continued to pick benaris with the workers, boyas, v'lakit. So V'atidbek benaris boyas, she continued to pick with the workers of boyas, the v'lakit, to pick out klois kitzir till the end of the barley harvest, and the wheat harvest. So the barley harvest is usually a little earlier, and the wheat harvest is usually a little later, around Shavuos time. Ateshev as Chamaisa, and she would return to the mother-in-law. All this time, she would pick some of the barley or the wheat and bring it back to her mother-in-law. So like this, she should have something to eat.